am not a good person, and I do not wish to ever be a good person or be defined as a good person. Neither is it something that I aspire to anymore. At some point, I decided that my life is a work of art. It is a part of my body of work as an artist. And as much as I am God's work of art, when it comes to my life in particular, it is a co-creation. We are in partnership. And if you know anything about making art, if you've ever made anything, you create it, and as an artist, you're done. You've done what you can, you've downloaded the ideas, you put them on paper, you put it on the canvas, you've written it, whatever form of art it is you do, you've done your part. How people choose to interpret it, what they take from it, whether they see it as good or bad, or whether they enjoy it or find value in it, is something that you entirely have no control over. But when you try as an artist to take charge of what, or try to direct what people are gonna think, or what they're gonna get from the art that you create, you find yourself not creating as freely or as wholly, because you're thinking about how is it going to be perceived, how is it going to look, what do they think of it, I want them to think of it this way. You're not as free in your creation process. And so when it comes to my life, I realized that the more I tried, the more I tried to be a good person and meet the changing and ever-evolving standards of what good is, which a lot of it is really revolves around codependency, let's be honest, trying to get acceptance, trying to get love. That was unhealthy. That was not sustainable. I could not please everyone. And even when I was doing my best, to some people it was never going to be good enough. To others, it's meh. And to others, how dare you? How dare you speak up for this? How dare you do ABCD? Anyway, I didn't do my intro. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. I talk about spirituality and life and merging the two together. There's a part of you that understands, for those people whose souls are awake, there's a part of you that understands the power that you hold inside. It's not the same sort of power for everybody. But for as long as you are self-betraying, as long as you are giving up parts of yourself to try to earn acceptance, to fit in, to earn approval, to be loved, to be accepted, you will not have access to your full power. You'll not have access to your power. You're gonna have period. You won't have access to your power. But once you shift out of self-betrayal into self-love, self-reverence, self-admiration, self-adoration, and you consciously choose yourself in the choices and in the way, through the choices you make, through the decisions you make, through the way you live life, you're going to have more access to that power. That is a part of what happens when you go through an awakening. Now, what happens when you're no longer playing the role or the person who tries to get affection, who does whatever it takes to earn the acceptance of their mommy, their daddy, their friends, their community? You've changed. You're not the same person. First of all, they're gonna grieve the you that you were. But more than that, you're not someone who doesn't play by the same rules, by the same games. You're gonna meet resistance. You're gonna meet a fight. You're gonna find resistance, and people will say, "You used to be such a good person," especially if you were an overgiver. You were, let me use the term empath. Say you were an empath. You're codependent, whatever it was. You were overgiving yourself. You're giving way more than you should have been giving, and you were not keeping enough for yourself. You were going out looking to solve other people's problems without taking care of your own business first. Your cup was barely filled, but you were pouring out whatever little energy you had, pouring into other people's cups. Anyway, once you choose yourself, you will never fit into the identity of a person who's called a good person. You cannot be someone who does not self-betray and be called a good person all the time. Not entirely, but all the time. Because to live authentically, to move authentically, means that you not only choose yourself, but you make decisions that prioritize you and yourself, and most of the time they don't fit in with what society tells you to do. Authenticity, when you're authentic to yourself, you will rarely fit into the boxes that you grew up hearing were the right boxes to fit into. The choices you make serve you, serve the greater good of who you are. But to other people, that's gonna be, how shall I put it, a problem. You're maybe not prioritizing them anymore. Whatever version of that was in your life. So to some people, you simply existing and embodying your authenticity, being true to who you are, before you even meet them, they just see you walking down the street. Something, when you're embodying your authenticity, when you're embodying your full power, when you are living in your light, people who aren't feel shaken up by that. Some people meet you and they're like, just a simple conversation, a smile made their day. They felt something. Seeing you walking down the street reminded them that there's love, there's beauty, and that they can go on living. To other people, just seeing you walking down the street, strutting, doing your thing, triggers something in them. Because maybe the values that you embody, how you choose to live life, is a threat to how they live their lives, the foundations on which they have built their entire lives. And so they look at you, you've not even done anything, and it's a total threat. They feel something, they feel an irritation somewhere, and they don't even understand it. That's why sometimes we meet someone and we're like, I don't know why, I just don't like this person. People are mirrors. When you get triggers, lean into them. I lean into my triggers. Triggers are windows of opportunity into higher levels of consciousness, higher levels of self-understanding and awareness. Lean into the triggers. What is the trigger telling you? Not every trigger. I'm not telling you to go trigger yourself with something traumatic. No, but like, if something you see in someone, if someone's simply existing, or someone talking about what they embody, really, like, it does something to you, ask yourself why. I use this journal prompt for self-inquiry. I enjoy self-inquiry so much. I love it. I usually write, how is this making feel? How is this making me feel? How does this make me feel? I answer that, and then I follow that up with why. I answer again why, and then I keep asking why and why until I keep the answer I'm writing down keeps circling around the same thing. It's gonna be like a different version of the same thing. I'm saying a different version of the same thing, and oftentimes you find that it's something that you're seeing in them that maybe you feel you're not embodying, or you wish you could be embodying, but you're not. And anyway, yeah, you're gonna find that it's if someone simply existing is triggering you, or how someone chooses to live triggers you, who someone is triggers you. There's a reason why. And I'm gonna say it, you will never find a straight man who is confident in his masculinity, who feels grounded in his masculinity, being bothered by somebody else being gay. No. If you find yourself having a major issue, or if you're a woman and you're okay in your femininity, you're not gonna be bothered by someone else choosing to love someone of the same gender as vehemently. You know how they say that, is it Grindr in the States, that during it crashes, it gets overwhelmed during the Republican conventions. There's a reason why. Sometimes when we see something and we feel as though we've been put in, we can't embody it, we can't have that thing, we try to fight it, we try to be aggressive towards it, because we feel as though I can't do that. I am held and restricted by these rules, by these structures, by what I am in, my career, my life, my family, the obligations I have, or whatever it is. And you tell yourself, I can't embody that. So when you see somebody else embodying it, it makes you angry. It feels like it's like, not jealousy, but something in you is deeply triggered and bothered by it. So I'd say, triggers are good opportunities into higher levels of self-awareness. So that's why My life to me is a body, is a work of art to me. It is a part of my body of work as an artist. And having decided that, and decided that I am never going back into that box. I'm never going back into restrictions or limitations. And even as I go on breaking more walls that I had told myself I had to live by previously, I find that you're gonna meet people who see you, celebrate you, and value you, but you're gonna meet another group of people who aren't gonna vibe with it. But that doesn't mean that you should shrink yourself, make yourself smaller to fit into that box again. Once you have a taste of freedom, burn it down. Burn down that previous identity. Let it die down. Because once you have a taste of freedom, there's no going back. You can never go back. So don't try to be good anymore. Be authentic. And again, what does being good even mean? What does being good even mean? What I value are character traits. Character traits are definitive. You can measure them. You have something you're working with. Good varies, it changes. Trying to be a good person, trying to be a nice person will have you destroying yourself, depleting yourself. But if you tell yourself that, say, the quality you desire is, say, generosity, then be generous. Be a generous person. And let your generosity not be something that works to your detriment. Let your generosity serve your higher good, serve your greater good. Don't go out on the streets trying to support every single person when your house is not in order. You prioritize yourself. Like I said, self-betrayal limits the level of access you have to your own power. So you get it. I think I've made my point. Character traits to me are far more valuable, traits that I respect. Being someone who I admire. So a character trait I admire is what? Being, okay, I'm not gonna go into that. Anyway, yes. Freedom will have you saying F, fitting into a box, F, trying to fit into a mold. And you find other things that make you be the sort of person you admire, you like, you respect. And you abide by that, you live by that. And you let people decide what they will decide. Some people will find value in it, some people will not. Who cares? It's okay. It's okay. For as long as you're living your life, as long as you're living honestly and truly for yourself, that's all that really matters, because you have no control of what anyone else thinks, of how they feel about you. Sometimes you could be out here helping people, and some people will get mad at you. How dare you? How dare you help this person and not help me? How dare you give money to this organization? This lighting is horrible, but it's okay. How dare you give money to this organization and not to mine? How dare you do this and this? Anyway, I feel like I've made my point, and it's like, if I keep talking, it's like beating a dead horse. So that's it. Let me know what you think. Give me your perspectives, and love you.